with Kaizen, and I'm here again with Oliver from Cogni to talk about how to securely roll out collaboration apps such as Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint. As we've all been moving to the cloud, different tools have served us well, supporting both internal and external information sharing. But enormous volumes of information in motion have created new types of risks that are difficult to handle. At Kaizen, we've helped a lot of our customers implement and manage the Microsoft security products to mitigate and protect their critical information. But one of the biggest mistakes we've seen is customers jumping to endpoint protection and access management without ever answering a few simple questions. Where is my information assets? Are they sensitive? How are they being shared? And is that data sharing posing a risk to your organization? To properly understand, implement, and optimize your security requirements, it's important to have robust data classification. Oliver, do you want to help explain how Cogni can help organizations securely roll out collaboration tools?
Yeah, sure thing, Cliff. I think you hit it right on the head. It's about, really understanding when you're rolling out a Teams, OneDrive, or SharePoint, what's going through there. Is it sensitive? Is it being placed at risk by how it's being used, et cetera, right? And so I'll bring you into the platform for a second, and we can kind of take a look at how implementing Cogni can be one of those first steps you need to actually have that visibility and make sure you're maintaining proper oversight when you're rolling out these apps and they're not creating big problems in your organization. So let's take a look. What you're looking at here is basically Cogni's understanding of what information is being exposed. It's showing you what types of information we're actually covering when we talk about maintaining oversight. That's your HR, legal, governance, finance, business, and all kinds of subcategories, such as request forms, statements, affidavits, financial reports, et cetera, that are being used daily in huge volumes in all kinds of ways that you would never expect, right? So if we take a look at where information is being exposed, we can really start to understand, how information is being used and is it creating risks when you're implementing a new collaboration tool. So take the example of Teams, what exists? Is it critical? Where is it shared? You got to start by actually defining what is my sensitive information. In Cogni, you can actually take all your subcategories of all these different types of information, your agreements, your bills of sale, your contracts. You can decide on your priorities on what is high, medium, low risk, et cetera, and actually configure that. So first off, we're making sure that we're catching the sensitive information that's right for you. Now, what we can do next is look at, what types of information we're exposed. So if we go back into the mapping, we can go into the what dashboard. So what information has been exposed. If we click on something like a board meeting agenda, okay, we can actually filter to look at the example of Teams. If you're rolling out Teams, which many people have very little oversight for, you can see where are my Teams, which files are being used, which people are involved in these team sharing, what events are happening, and you can filter by the different types of, either board meeting agendas, financial reports, et cetera, and keep an overview of what events are happening as well as what files are involved, and drill down and investigate any of these to understand deeper how these specific files are being used across all your collaboration tools. Now, one of the other things we like to do is take a look at different organizations that are involved in your team's collaboration. So if we look into, say, our legal documentation, we click on AOL, an external organization, we can filter down and understand what's our relationship with AOL. Are there team shares occurring with this organization? Who's involved? Who's receiving it? Who is this admin 28615 at AOL? And so we can investigate, not only who exposed it, so Summer Louise or any of the other users inside of your organization, but actually this admin 28615, and really understand, what is the relationship with this user, which files are being shared, et cetera. And so you can begin to evaluate, are there leakages occurring through your teams to external organizations, right? And finally, another thing we like to do is really take a look deep into how your data sources are being used. So if you want to take an overview of your teams in general, you can actually click on Teams, have that understanding of what is the breakdown between your different data sources. So Exchange, OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams. When we click in here, we can actually look at what are all the HR, legal, financial information being shared through Teams. And so if we click inside, we can actually look at all the events. We can filter by specific subcategories of HR information. We can actually filter for just the high risk events. and understand why these are happening. So highly sensitive content, discipline information has been set as highly sensitive. It's shared outside the organization to someone at Caspifin we see, and it's an anomaly. So it's something that shouldn't happen because Adelaide is not sharing to discipline information, or Suzanne is not receiving discipline information, or Caspifin is not receiving discipline information on a very frequent scale. So through all these different ways, you can basically begin to create a picture of, is my teams creating a leakage, or creating an avenue through which my sensitive information can be exposed. You can track down the risks, the organizations involved, and you can really begin to identify the tools and security posture that you need to adopt in order to help actually prevent these leakages from occurring, right? So, Cliff, I know you've kind of seen quite a few of these. Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
A lot of our customers have implemented Teams, and a lot of them don't know that the back end of Teams is SharePoint and OneDrive, right? They might not think that they're using it as a data repository, but they in fact are. Even customers that are still on-prem that implemented Teams for pandemic purposes still are using SharePoint and OneDrive, regardless of whether they know it or not, right? So I would like to say, thanks again, Oliver, and the Cogni team, and from everyone here at Kaizen Technologies. Get to know and classify your data, and only then can you actually protect your data wherever it goes. Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot, Cliff.